What's up? Friday. Yeah, Smitty. Friday, Pick Central. Smitty, Marty Mush. Friday. What's up, Smitty? What are you laughing at?
I mean, my kid just got back from his first swim lessons, and like he started running to me all wet, and his pants just fell down.
Nice.
It was perfect.
Like working here.
Pretty much.
Today's show is brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook, the one and only sportsbook of the show and Barstool Sports. The Barstool Sportsbook is made for you, the loyal fans and listeners, and is the only place to find exclusive picks and parlays from Big Cat, El Prez, and the Pick Central crew. Follow or fade us. It's up to you. Now offering a $1,000 bonus for new players. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So download and create an account today. Use code PICK, P-I-C-K, to unlock your $1,000 bonus. The Barstool Sportsbook lets you bet however you like with daily odds boosts, live in-game wagering, move the line and teaser bets, and Parlay Plus for bigger payouts. iCasino is also available in select states with table games and slots. Download and create an account today. Be sure to use code PICK, P-I-C-K, to unlock your $1,000 bonus. That's the Barstool Sportsbook code PICK, P-I-C-K. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jason, are you able to take calls on that end, even if I don't have the computer and you just patch them through? Or no? It's all good. No big deal. We should be fine.
Well, I have a suggestion for today's show.
Go ahead. I have a couple things.
Yeah. It's
Friday. The news. We touched on the NBA lines a bunch of different times. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking Oklahoma City money line just because we said they're pesky.
It's Friday. You got a case race after this to watch. The summer's right around the corner. I think Pick Central should just forever be reviewing Wake Up with Mincy and how, for the life of me, he has managed to live 39 years without ever once cooking himself a meal.
Why? What happened?
I didn't see today's, I'll be honest.
Marty.
I think it was a disaster. I know he burnt the eggs. I saw the pan. He showed PFT the burnt pan of the eggs. Jason, don't go crazy, bro. Don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just it's Mincy versus Salmonella. That's the next fight for the generation.
What did he cook today?
He attempted to cook eggs.
Oh, today was the burnt eggs. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it was something.
It's interesting.
My apologies, as you are.
No,
it's fine. I got all my cooking snafus out at an early age. You know what this is embarrassing, but you'll admit it. I think I was 18, 19. You know how you hard boil eggs, right? I had them in there for 20 minutes, and then picked it out, and it wasn't soft yet. But I was feeling the shell. Then after 40 minutes, I cooked the thing for an hour and a half, and I kept being like, it's not fucking soft. I don't get it.
The shell?
Yeah, I didn't. The shell doesn't. You have to take the shell off, and then the inside is.
Yeah.
But again, that was at 18. You learn, you get that out of the way, and then you're a functioning human.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised you're hard boiling eggs as a pro life guy.
Yeah. I got a couple of. If we can fire up the calls, otherwise we'll kind of touch on some different stuff. The Rays just don't lose. Just don't.
They're playing fucking bums.
Fair enough.
Good for them.
I'll tell you what. If I have to stay up late tonight and watch the Mets, and the Mets lose any of these games to the fucking A's, there's nothing worse than staying up and your team loses to fucking shitbags.
And they will. The A's have to win some games sometime.
There's been crazy games too where we lose out to LA and the Giants and these extra inning games. You fall asleep, you wake up, you're half awake. There's nothing worse than staying up late and watching these games lose, especially if it's the A's. We
the A's are just it's a boring. It's just looking at the stadium's boring. There's so much foul territory.
It's a disaster. It's
a
complete disaster.
Just fucking take the foul. I actually kind of like the foul territory. I love a good foul out. But
I got a lot of foul territory.
Can we talk about OBJ real fast?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'd like to ask your guys' opinion. I think Rico's got Jason running around.
I told him don't go nuts, poor bastard.
Don't even go nuts for it.
Poor Jason.
I know it's
also an absolute scumbag move to say it at 12:00.
Yeah, shit.
Hey, bro,
Jason, while you're at it, can you go get your saxophone and serenade us a little bit in the background?
The bagpipes.
You just
no, hold on, that was a joke. You don't give the fuck.
That was a huge joke. Come on, Jay.
Wait, does he actually play the saxophone?
Yeah, he fucking.
Oh, that's
he's like the.
I thought
he's like the best musician on the East Coast.
The saxophone. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't. All right.
Oh. Okay, piano.
Yeah, you should know. He goes.
Don't get mad at me.
He looks at him. He goes. I don't know how to play any woodwinds.
All right, we've officially pissed off the entire. There's 8 people here today. We've pissed off somehow.
Yeah, there's
5%
literally nobody here today. But OBJ.
So go ahead, OBJ.
OBJ.
I got some stuff.
He said that he had no ACL in 2021 when he got signed by the Rams in Week 9, which I don't fully believe, because I don't think the Rams would sign him and be like, hey, you got no ACL, you're still good to go. He's like, I will die on this sword. I've been so much been on my name, like I'm gonna keep playing through it. You can't, as a wide receiver, you could only go straight. You can't do any cuts if you have no ACL.
Well, didn't Hines Ward have 0 ACLs? He was born with like none.
I think that his was like he wasn't born with it. You know?
Yeah, it was like a genetic abnormality.
Yeah, it was just like a kind of freak, crazy thing with it. Like
But then I'm with you. There's no way they did a physical on him, and his ACL was torn already before the Super Bowl, and they just signed him, and he performed that well before the Super Bowl.
Yes,
there's just no way.
Exactly, and then he's like, "I've been an underdog." All this stuff's like, you were literally the best receiver. Like everyone was talking about you on the Giants. Like when you were on the Giants, everyone was talking about you. Then you went to the Browns, and then your dad had to tell everybody you were open, pretty much, and then,
which he kind of was.
He was open, so I agree with the dad. And then I don't know. I just found I love OBJ, and I actually weirdly think, I don't know about weirdly, but I think that him on a prove it deal with Lamar, where Lamar's kind of on like a prove it deal, not even a prove it deal, just like a fuck you tour. I do think it's going to be a very good match if OBJ is healthy and back to himself. But I just thought it was kind of crazy to him be like, yeah, I had no ACL. It's like there's just no chance that's true. And then in the Super Bowl you got hurt, and that's when you decided to go out.
Yeah, it's weird.
It makes sense. Pretty bizarre. But he's a bizarre guy. I mean, so
I like him. I don't know what it is. I like him because of the Giants and it. But did we talk about also Commanders out?
Yeah, that's probably. I would equate that kind of to Dolan with the Knicks. Not to keep going back, make it New York Central, but
he was the worst guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was bad. Like when Donald Sterling left the Clippers, like everyone hates him. Like there's rejoice. So I'm wondering, and that's a team that was good back in the day. Like the Commanders have made a bunch of Super Bowls, won Super Bowls. Am I crazy to say that? They've won a few, right? Way back in the day.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were 3 or 4, whatever. Like they won a bunch. Yeah, exactly. So
3.
Okay, that's a bunch. How many of you won?
Yeah, 1.
There you go. So that's a bunch.
Well, I'm just correcting you on the factually accurate statement that the Washington Commanders have won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, fair enough. All. They can get back to relevancy. That's all I'm saying. It's a bunch.
They need to take shots.
You can tell Rico's brain from yesterday to today is completely changed. Yesterday he was talking.
Yeah, it was sharp.
He was all sharp, and today he's just everything. I said the whole thing about OBJ. Goes, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy. What do you want me to say?
Did you gentlemen see the group that bought?
So that's what I wanted to ask.
Magic Johnson being involved in if that guy they just needed his money. Please make sure he's not tweeting about anything.
His tweets.
He'll be
fucking insane.
Tweets are electric.
Well, he'll be tweeting the score after the first quarter.
Yeah. Wait, let me ask you a question. It had something to do. It's something with the Sixers.
Yeah, Josh Harris owns the Sixers, and now he is the majority owner of the Commanders, which people are all up in arms here about it, but I think they forgot that he also owns the fucking New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, do you have – all right, so then that's pretty – if you're a billionaire, a trillionaire, or whatever the fuck these guys are doing, and you just want to get involved in sports and you don't have a tie, let's say, or you don't make it vote. So Steve Cohen, he was only buying the Mets because he's a diehard. Or it's one of those things. I don't know if Cuban was Cuban a diehard Mavs fan?
No, I think he was just trying to. I think
he was just trying to get in.
People are trying to get whatever's available now.
So I have no problem. If tomorrow I could buy an NBA team, I could just talk myself into being a fucking Oklahoma City fan or an Atlanta fan. Don't get me wrong. The goal is the Knicks, but if the Knicks aren't for sale and you want to be in that exclusive club of which there's only 30, and then to double down that. you get a piece of an NBA team, and then you can go get a piece of a football, an NFL team. What are we talking about?
No, I
talk myself into anybody.
You're an 100%. Idiot if you think that you can't change your fandom if you're gonna.
100%.
And second of all, it is so fucking cool. So he owns the Commanders.
It's like playing.
He owns
Madden,
part of the Commanders.
And you control everything. You're the owner.
Commanders, Sixers, Devils. He has 3 teams in different sports.
Yeah, and people here, we were pretty spoiled with ownership for the most part, other than Norman Brayman, the owner of the Eagles during the 90s. Like, Jeffrey Lurie is a great owner, cares about the Eagles nonstop. Middleton's one of the best owners in Major League Baseball. He doesn't give a fuck about money. He's just spewing that tobacco money. Ed Snyder was famously like one of the best owners in the NHL before he passed. And like the Sixers were owned by like Pat Croce at one point. Like it was just very homegrown ownership time and time again. And then Josh Harris comes along, who I'm not sure if he owned the Devils first, but I mean, there's really no problems with it.
I don't have a problem with it. What do you're not involved in it? Like, him owning the Devils doesn't affect the Flyers. It's not like he's sandbagging the Flyers.
No, but it's just
I know.
If gun to head, if he had to choose between Philly, New York, and Washington now,
right? Okay, I can see how that.
Your loyalty gonna lie? But
I'd rather my guy only one. I understand what you mean. I just want him focusing on my team.
Or what about 2 that are complete polar opposites? So NBA and baseball don't overlap. If I'm crazy, am I wrong? At the beginning of the season, but a baseball team is not playing. So you see how hockey plays in NBA arenas.
Yeah.
Or if the Devils are coming in and the Flyers start fucking around with locker rooms and ice time, you'd be like, yo, like, which side are you on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the Devils have the possibility to win a championship and the Flyers are like the upstart 7 seed or 8 seed, like, I could see how that get hairy. But if you own a baseball team and an NBA team that never interact, you have any problem? Like, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, wasn't Cuban close to buying the Cubs?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been awesome for Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt.
I might be.
And chat, I need to address this real quick. Chat saying that Jeffrey Lurie is a Pats fan. He did grow up in New England, but as Marty and Rico alluded to, once you buy an NFL franchise, you're a part of that city. And he's been great. He's been a great owner since the jump.
I would root for that team immediately. Immediately.
This is a stupid question, but Smitty, was Michael Rubin? Did he just sell it to them, or was he not?
So Josh Harris, with the Commanders, bought it with a bunch of people, like a group, and he was kind of the head, along with Michael Rubin. Michael Rubin basically sold his shares.
Okay.
Which is shocking because he was kind of the face. He was the one on the bench with Meek Mill and Big Cat got invited to a game.
Yeah.
Sorry, Smitty. Sixers fan Big Cat was courtside with Michael Rubin.
That is weird. I don't know, the owners, because there's so many people. It's not just one person, obviously. There's so many people. Like, doesn't fucking Patrick Mahomes own some of the Royals?
I think once you become a billionaire, you should not care what the fuck people think.
No.
Yeah, I just think the creative, like I was saying, like
you're doing it just not be bored.
It's like turning on the game and Madden, and you get to create everything. You're changing the stadium layout. You can change promotions. You can pick cool uniforms. You can change the name if you want. Like, having that autonomy. Did I use that one correctly?
Yeah, you did.
Nice.
Oh, I would personally own a franchise like I'm playing Madden on franchise mode. I'd be in the mix, and it would be the worst run franchise in history. I'd be 10 times worse than Dan Snyder, getting my hands in the roster and everything. Actually, no sexual allegations or anything like Dan Snyder had, but I'd be in the meetings. I would be wanting to draft people. I would override my GM.
If I was
even the power of going into your state, it's your stadium. And the minute you walk in, everyone has to know who you are. They're opening the door. Like, you're in the owner's box. Like, I don't know. I just think that like, you talk about king of the castle. Like, you own a sports team. Every day you're going to work and watching a game.
Coolest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
and
like,
you honestly
have to, like, you only have a trusted circle of people. Like
if you really want to be involved, you can, like Robert Kraft, where like he kind of wants, like Jerry Jones, who like won't let his coach actually coach. Like, he had to be a puppet for him. Or like you can be like that too. I was thinking, if I was an owner, what if you hired a fan Just be like, let's see you do it for a season. Do you think it would be an electric atmosphere?
I don't know.
It's like you do it for.
No, I don't know.
But we have someone. We have an actual GM, and we'll also do you, and we'll see what you do.
No, I don't think you would let them ever make any kind of decisions. But what I would do is the guy who calls like the hotline 1,000 times, the season ticket holder is complaining. It's like, I could do this, and he calls sports radio and this. You invite him in and let him do a little bit of a shadow program and be like, all right, this is Adam Smith. He's our GM. Follow him around and just see how much detail goes into this. And at the end of the day, you decide if you think you could do it or not. And when he watches 600 phone calls come in and moving around and meetings and decisions, I think the fan would kind of be like, all right, you know what? You're right. It's a little harder than I expected. I'll go back to my 300 level seat and my my seat cushion for paying my season tickets early, and I'll just yell from there. I'll be okay.
But what if the fan actually does a better job? The fan just puts out, like, for years and years and years, Howie Roseman did such a shit job drafting for the Eagles that people were saying, just put out a Twitter poll. That's all you need to do. Just put out a Twitter poll and you're not going to be able to miss. And the past 2 years, that's essentially like what he kind of did.
Yeah.
And he's been on fire. So, like, what if something like that happens and the fan just overrides the GM? That would be awesome.
I would like
awesome.
I would like an alternate universe of a reality show of this.
Yes.
32 fans are owners of teams, and we get to watch them interact to be like, I want to trade you my left tackle for your first-round pick. Like, we set up the rosters as they go and put it through. I guess you can't make the players actually play, or maybe we do sign up some kind of, like, minor league of
we do the XFL.
Yeah, I guess.
We have the XFL do it, and like if anyone wants to do a trade, we put it like a live on Twitch, and it's just like they do it like
phone calls.
No, we don't even need the phone. Like just how you propose a trade in Madden. We put that, and it's like, oh, that works, and they switch. That would be
electric. But I want to see a league where these crazy people are. They have to give press conferences. People are asking them, like they're the actual owner in Looney Tune land.
Yes, XFL should do it.
That's a fucking reality show waiting to happen, in my opinion, anyway. But I don't know. Who knows if we could get it? Anything else on that? Anything else you have? I have a couple things.
Chris Castellani said, if I own the Tigers, they'd be in the World Series in 3 years.
Okay.
Running teams is hard. Owning the team, especially when you have infinite money, isn't that hard.
Well, I mean, the perfect guy to do it is Frank. Frank thinks he could do it, and then he'll just be vilified, and it'll crash and burn.
No, Frank will have 4 guys on the team. Everyone will be cut. You strike out once, out. And I love that, though. I kind of like that. If like one guy's really just, I'm sick of him, you're out.
Who's been the biggest fanboy owner in history? Like, did you guys ever see? You guys ever see The Founder with Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Ray Kroc? So he ended up buying the Padres, and the Padres were so bad, he would get on the loudspeaker and just apologize and yell at the team and shit.
Oh, really?
Like in the 70s.
That's wild.
Jesus.
Wild move.
I think Cuban kind of is a fan. I mean, he's there with Joe.
Yeah.
Cuban slowed down, though. He was more like in your face, like trying to be on the court and doing all shit, but like he kind of slowed it down.
But he also came in and like revitalized the locker room.
Yeah.
Like actually paid the staff.
I mean,
and
won a championship. Yeah. He's great for promotions. And
he made me care about the Mavs. I never would have cared.
Yeah.
Like, they're Dirk, obviously, but
I think Ballmer is that the right guy? Am I saying that? He's kind of been front and center now a lot.
I mean, if we do look at me owners, it's Jerry Jones and Kraft.
Yeah, but they're also like elite.
Yeah,
they're there because they're so well known. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, I'm talking about just complete fanboy. It might be Cohen. To be honest with you, right now.
Cohen
could be a fanboy.
Ballmer's front and center just because his reactions are hilarious, and that goes back to Microsoft in the '90s when he's dancing to the Rolling Stones up on stage awkwardly.
That makes sense. I had this. So the golf tournament's going on now. We just had the Masters. These random golf tournaments. I think right now is the RBC. I picked Morikawa. Can't do shit. Does winning one event in your lifetime for a PGA, you win one PGA event in your lifetime, does that matter? Is that something you tell people about? And does anyone care?
No. No one cares.
Oh, I think people care for fucking.
So
sure.
like if you're at a restaurant,
wait. You're saying like a tournament, like a major championship?
No.
a regular.
You're at you're at a restaurant and you're like, oh, I'm gonna bring my friend. He's a pretty good golfer, or he used to play pro on the tour. You're like, okay, and we sit down and he's like, yeah, this is Smitty, and he's like, oh, where'd you play? Oh, I did this. Oh, I won the '98 Buick Classic.
Yeah, no shit. People care. Do you know how many like average weekend golfers are out there who are like hardcore, who wish they can be that good, who just want to pick your brain?
I wouldn't care.
Of course, you wouldn't care. But I mean, anybody who is a four-plate ball washer, of course they would.
I don't know if like a random tournament, like not like the Masters or like one of those big ones. I don't think people would obviously it'd be like, I'd like to listen to the guy, but I'm saying I don't think anyone truly cares.
I would care to talk to somebody who plays on tour because you're that good.
Yeah,
compared to everybody else.
I guess is tough. Like,
I think he
is it one of those things that, all right, like I guess that's the best way to put it. You're at dinner or you meet the guy at a bar and that comes up. Oh yeah, I won the 2002 Nissan fucking Invitational. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, do you think most people would say,
Ernie Els won that?
Oh, that's pretty cool, or a lot of people would be like, wait, what? Like that? Like, tell me about it. Who was in the field? Like,
I think it's more just what type of sports fan you are.
Does that kind of stop you in your tracks, or you just kind of move past it of like, oh yeah, I have some. Well, keep touching on that because I have some comparisons to like what I think it equates to the other four sports.
Look, if you play in any professional sport, I'm interested. If you win a NASCAR race or a fucking World Series of Poker event, like, I'm picking your brain at dinner. Like, right. I'm interested.
So
at any high level for any sport
more impressive
activity that's pro.
More impressive. Like you again, you have this type of thing. Let's say you go to dinner 2 nights in a row. You meet 2 guys at a bar back-to-back nights. Which one are you telling your friends about, or you would say gun to head?
Are we dating now?
It's more impressive. Yeah, we're dating on Fridays. A guy played. I wrote these down hypothetically. A guy played 2 years in the NBA. You think it's a bigger deal to meet a guy who played 2 years in the NBA or won a golf tournament?
2 years in the NBA.
NBA.
Okay. It's just cooler to me. I love golf. I think it's amazing. But the NBA 2 years is like, I don't know. That's so sick to me.
What about one?
I'm talking to Pepe Sanchez more than I'm talking to Jim.
I also love Rico's hypotheticals because he'll be like, just pretend you've seen the guy at the bar 2 nights in a row. It's like,
no, it does, because think. All right, so
I mean, you wash out of the league that quick.
It's
like,
a realistic.
Using every
listen,
night.
It's a realistic thing. Where are you? No,
it is.
To a guy who played 2 years in the league. Where are you running into a guy?
I'll be honest.
Who won one golf tournament. You could run into those type of guys. Like, there are people. My grandfather. I mean, it's way back in the day. But my grandfather told stories. He talked to a guy who used to play professional baseball. Like, he was working a regular job. Now, those guys weren't making life-altering money back then. But, like, these guys wash back up into the world. Like,
100%.
There's NBA guys who are driving trucks right now.
I got more. I ran into a guy at Green Rock. It was, I can't remember his name, but he was like a sharpshooter on Notre Dame. And he didn't even make
Pat Light's name?
Yeah, of course I dropped. I was like, I know Pat Light. And I was one of the key guys on Notre Dame's team the past like 5 years, and I was more interested talking to him about even just Notre Dame than I think like a guy who wins the Buick Classic.
What about
look? If you are Rico, if you're a professional in every sport or even close to or around, just around the atmosphere, you got stories for days and you got knowledge about the people who you might care about more, and you can talk forever.
No, I do.
And that's what's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying which one is more interesting, or which one
I like the
is a bigger deal, or which one stops people more in their tracks, because winning one tournament is like pretty insignificant blip on the radar. And a lot of these things I'm listing are kind of insignificant blips in professional sports. Let's say a guy won 40 games in major leagues. He's a starting pitcher for like 7 years, or maybe won 25 games in major league. Do you think that's a bigger deal, running into a guy like that, or a guy who won the Buick? Which one holds, or I guess which one holds more weight of like a more impressive athlete in terms of career achievements? You won 25, 30 games in MLB or 40 games, or you won one golf tournament.
It's subjective, but I think for me it'd be baseball.
Me
like
too.
I could listen to like Pat Light, who was in the majors for basically a cup of coffee. I can listen to him talk about striking out Mike Trout and like this day-to-day activities more than somebody who won a tournament.
My favorite thing about Barstool, honestly, is when we have these interviews with athletes and they get so comfortable and like you come friendly with them, and after the interview, we cut off the interview and then they start telling you like all the shit that they can't say and like all the cool stuff is like that shit. Even just like locker room stories or like just little things get me so interested in sports because we all played sports growing up. And it's kind of the same thing, but on steroids. But it's like, oh, shit, they still do that in the clubhouse in the Yankees? Like, we did that in fucking college. You know what I mean? Like, that's my favorite shit.
Yeah, that's why I was given such, like, off-the-grid examples.
No, but I know what you mean. It's like you're the best at one sport, but in a normal tournament, or you're a middle reliever for the Yankees.
I also think it's one of those things, too, like, I'm kind of giving examples of not your team. So, like, the next one I have is, you were on a conference championship team in the NFL. Because I think a Super Bowl, obviously, like, or even a Super Bowl, like you were the backup offensive tackle that no one would know. You couldn't spot him out of a team picture. But a guy for the 2006 or 2010 Saints, you meet him. And he's like, well, what'd you do? I was a special teams guy. Like, and you look up his box score later and you're like, yeah, he never played. Like, is that, I don't know, does that hold more weight than a guy who won the Buick? I'm just kind of throwing some hypotheticals out there on a Friday. And then the last one was scored 10 goals in the NHL.
I would think any of the four sports would hold more water than the single.
The one golfer?
In my opinion.
Unless
but,
it's
so then I guess
it's a match.
Unless you're a hardcore golfer.
Yeah, so Marty said it right from the get-go, and but you're kind of going against it now. The answer of does one tournament win like really put you of any significance, I guess your answer is no.
Well, you initially phrased the question as, would you care that this person did? And yeah, I'd love to talk to that person. That'd be great. But if you're talking about the person who won the 2002 Nissan Invitational compared to somebody who was in the league, any league, for a cup of coffee, I'm more interested to talk to the person in the league.
Yeah.
Smitty, I had a kind of a question. Well, cause I don't know, it kind of pertains to where you live, but Villanova just basically hired a GM for their women's and men's basketball team. With NIL and shit, college doesn't have that. I think for the coaches, it's a fucking harder job now. It already was hard to go out and recruit every year for your team. And now after you recruit 1 year, you have to re-recruit the guys on your team to stay and not transfer. But now you also have, I think Villanova's like one of the first people to do it. Everyone has an AD, but the AD's all over the place. They're not just looking at that. I think having a GM in college is one of the smartest things you can do. Do you think so?
I never thought about that, but yeah. I mean, it should, if you're paying these guys and you need them to stick around, and there's essentially free agency in college, like with the transfer portal, it's going to mimic the pros as much as possible. And why wouldn't you if you have the money to do so?
Yeah, because you have, again, like it was already hard recruiting, and then okay, you got the best guy in the country. He's coming back now, but now you have to re-recruit him while going to try and get freshmen and then other people in the transfer portal. It's fucking exhausting.
Yeah, but who gives a shit about the GM if you're a college kid? Like, they need to bring back. I don't know who the GM is for Villanova. Quote GM. I don't know.
It's Dunleavy's brother. Yeah.
Okay, but I would bring back like Kerry Kittles and just put him on the roster full time as like my GM and just have him go out, or even give Jalen Brunson some money on the side and just be like, hey, in the offseason, can you make some calls? Why not?
Yeah, I'll give you money to make 6 calls for me.
I mean, a lot of these guys they might need a GM. That's kind of the way we're going with.
They're not going out recruiting,
managing the roster. Yeah, I think
it's just one of those things, giving a little help, like,
or find just putting your ear to the grindstone of like who's leaving. Like if a kid's unhappy, like all right, hey, like you let a guy know in January, hey, that kid's probably leaving. Like let's account for this. You know, I guess it's like the scene at Friday Night Lights at the end when he updates the board. You know, like that's what I kind of look at it. In college, you kind of have to know who you can go get, who you're going to go target. So I think it's a way of the future. I think it's a current thing now. That's just kind of how it's going. It's roster.
It's going to become the pros.
Yeah, pretty much. And like we've said there's not a lot of lifers out there. Listen, I think Hurley's great, but like, what if Hurley only wins one? Hurley's the brightest of the stars of these young guys. You know, like if Musselman never breaks through, if Oates
has your guy Hurley been in any combos to jump up to the pros already?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he would wanna. No, I'm serious. Like I think he loves college basketball. I think he wants. Like, look at what his dad did. He was a high school legend. Like I think being a college basketball legend to him kind of means a lot. I don't think he has really any aspirations in the NBA.
Also, think about it.
In my opinion.
UConn is like, you're the man, and it's Connecticut, but you're the man. No one else. There's no pro teams there. It's just UConn basketball. So, I mean,
yeah, like that's
the absolute man in Connecticut. So,
like, I don't think it would have worked out when Krzyzewski was looking at leaving the Lakers to go to the Lakers in like 04, 05. I don't think it would have worked out. Because no matter how much of a god he is in the NBA, like, nobody cares. They can run guys out in fucking 3. We've watched it. They run guys out care on the drop of a dime. Care for a little bit, but it's not a guarantee to work.
No, I'm not saying it's a guarantee to work. No, but I'm saying
when has it worked? What college coaches jumped to the pros in the NBA? Larry Brown.
Donovan's been okay right now.
Donovan's been okay. I mean, Brad Stevens had never won one.
Patino was a flame out.
Failure.
Yeah, so that's my point. Like it just doesn't work. So
who's been successful as an NBA coach as like Spoelstra, and like obviously.
Oh, you know who had a good run, Smitty, but he never really won anything in college was Quinn Snyder. For a long time, I felt like was running in the NBA for a while.
I'm saying just like a normal, like because NBA coaches are fucking they're out so fast. Spoelstra's been, I think, a great coach, and obviously Popovich, but like.
But you look at NBA coaches, they're either former players that come up again through the system as coaches, or they're like former interns that just work their way up, like Spoelstra, who's like started as a video guy,
or Nick Nurse, right?
Nick Nurse, who's a great coach.
I feel like Spoelstra doesn't get enough credit for because he at first it was like I can coach the Heat when LeBron and all them are there, but then they all leave. And then they were still in the NBA Finals, and was it the COVID year?
Yes, bubble.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, the Heat are still.
They're always relevant
and stuff. So PFT.
So trust me, after watching Eric Spoelstra coach games and Doc Rivers coach games, Spoelstra's a great coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can run these guys out anytime they want.
So quick.
Like I've watched them quit on D'Antoni. I've watched them quit on Woodson.
And the thing is, the players have more of a say in the NBA than the coaches.
Yeah, but also D'Antoni never won anything.
No,
he got close, but never won anything.
But
I don't think he could run Nick Nurse out now, or Spoelstra.
Probably not. But you'd be surprised, man. Like they can just fucking tank and just stop playing. And like if they get mad, they make things sure as shit. They make things difficult.
Do you think
the players do have a lot of power? That's fact.
Do you think Damian Lillard's kind of right in this way where he's like, obviously the NBA it changes all the time, but the NBA has changed so much where it's like a lot of these guys are getting the keys to this team right away. Like these rookies are getting keys to the team right away, where there's like no really veteran presence anymore, where it's like, oh, we gotta work, like we need, like LeBron obviously has it, or like I don't know, there's not a lot of veteran presence where you need to like respect the people the veterans on your team right away, where it's like Paolo's getting the keys to the team, fucking Cade Cunningham's already getting the keys. I don't know, it's just a weird.
I think NBA. Behind the scenes, they still you still have locker room decor. I think.
Do you think Damian Lillard's saying that because he wasn't one? Like he wasn't.
I still
think
they're carrying the bags. I still think they're picking up the meals.
I don't
still think.
I don't know about that.
Austin Reeves said.
You don't think so?
Austin Reeves said he got a controller for. Only thing he's done is got an Xbox controller for LeBron. And that was it. That's the only thing he's had to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's not like Rick Mahorn behind the scenes anymore just beating the piss out of kids.
Yeah, I don't think there's any hazing anymore.
Well, yeah, I think that shit got cut out real quick with the GMs, too, being like, I don't care how many years you've played in the league, I'll get rid of you before. Like, this is a golden ticket here, this investment, a 22-year-old. Has a lot more value to this franchise than you do just because you played here for 10 years, you know? So, last night, Yankees got smashed. Not going to make it a Yankees thing. The hypothetical I had, or I guess the question, is there anything worse than playing the field down $1 million when there's a position player on the field? On the mound, I should say.
No.
Is there anything worse than sitting out there in left field just being like, man, end this fucking game?
You know what? Like, even like the Yankees getting blown out yesterday did nothing. It's like whatever. It's April. It doesn't matter. Like, the Yankees were kind of having fun yesterday. Like, IKF was pitching, and he was like throwing, like he got no runs happened or whatever, and it's not fun, but it's like it's not like something you're worried about. It's like they scored 9 runs in the first inning, and then what are you supposed to do, you know? But it is also that's a game where I saw someone was tweeting, it's like it's 85 degrees in New York. You can't wait to go. You get a hot dog, you sit down, it's 9-0 in the first inning.
Yeah. Was there a pitching or a position player this week or last week for the Royals who still came in and just started throwing like 95-mile-an-hour gas?
Something like that.
A second baseman just absolutely just fucking throwing the heat with movement.
I know they don't want to get hurt, but I wish like position players did that more. Like really tried to throw it, like throw sliders, curveballs.
Okay, so here's a question: what position player would you love to see on the mound? And I know my answer right away. It's Vladimir Guerrero.
I'd like to see. Oh wait, Vladimir Guerrero, senior or junior?
Senior.
I would have loved.
I feel like he'd be a freak. Right now, I'd like the kid from Toronto, the fucking fire hydrant, Kirk, the catcher.
Oh yeah.
I'd love Alejandro Kirk. I'd love to see his.
I would love to see
out there throwing darts.
I would expect him to throw underhand.
Who was the best position player or most memorable position player to put an outing together or like appearance that you remember in the last couple of years? And can we create some kind of award like Stephen Shea? So how Stephen Shea does the Block of the Year award. Can we make that the Alejandro Kirk best position player appearance as a pitcher award? You know what I mean? Like, can the internet get behind that? Can the internet create that kind of award?
It doesn't happen much anymore, but I remember.
Yeah, well, they changed the rules too, right? You can't do it less than 6 or something like that.
I'm not sure.
I think I just saw that.
But Wilson Valdez for the Phillies was a utility infielder and came in. I think he got a win, like because they had no other arms in like 2013 or some shit, and he pitched them to a win.
What were they, up $1 million?
No, I think they ran out of arms. I could be way off, but I remember him pitching. I think he got one.
First of all, I would love to see O'Neal Cruz fucking pitching. He would. Is that his name, right?
Yeah,
Pirates
dude.
guy.
He that's the big hurt 2.0 on the mound. Like he might stride all the way to home plate.
Yeah, and throw 109.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy though that like we think it's like when a position player goes on the mound, everyone's like, oh, here it is. Like everyone growing up, you pitched. Everyone. If you played baseball, you played shortstop or whatever you played and you pitched. And now that's why it's so crazy Ohtani doing it. So it's obviously insane that he can do both at this level. But have you seen him, by the way, his pitching numbers?
He's unbelievable. He's on his way to MVP again.
His pitching numbers are fucking outrageous right now. It's disgusting.
Of course, Ebo weighs in. Chris Davis came in and struck out Adrian Gonzalez in extra innings, throwing 93. All right, so it's the Chris Davis Award. We just got the answer.
Yeah,
Rizzo struck out Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
Love that.
Let's file it away. Everyone get involved. Like if you see position players throw an outing, let's have tiers: gold, silver, bronze. Let's make the 3 awards, or who's like the updated Heisman odds. Let's see who's going to win the Chris Davis Award each year.
Yeah, nice to see Chris Davis earn his contract. That strikeout. I'm surprised if he's throwing 93-mile-an-hour heat that he just didn't Rick Yankee it and switch, like reverse Rick Yankee and become a pitcher.
Yeah. You know, there's a weird rule my dad told me about in a game in the 80s. The Mets got everybody thrown out of a game because they were fighting. I'm pretty sure it was 86. And they had Roger McDowell and, I don't know, Sid Fernandez, I want to say, out in left field. And in the inning, you can make one switch because it's technically two position players. So it's like, think about if you're going from shortstop to first base or third base to left field. You can make that switch legally, but with the pitcher, you can only do it once an inning. So with righties and lefties, depending on what they were doing, they were making them switch from left field to the mound in a fucking crazy, crazy game. Can you pull up this Rockies video that's scrolling? How have I not seen this? Did you guys see that? Hear this?
No.
Scrolling across the bottom, I noticed it 3 or 4 different times. The guy tackled the mascot?
Yeah, it was like a week or two ago.
Oh, Jesus. Well, then why is it on the bottom?
Because I think the police now are looking for the guy. He got away. So they're just like actively looking.
Did you see it? Did anybody see it when it happened?
Oh, I didn't even know.
I didn't see it when it happened. Did they like keep this hush hush? Did it make it to like the blog? Did we tweet about it?
I have no idea. I thought I would see it.
I thought it just happened last night. That's all.
First of all, tackling mascots, they're like pretty inhibited by what's going on. You can't see shit.
Yeah,
you can't even move. That's kind of assault. My brother was a Disney character for 5 years, and like when he was Rafiki, little kids would come up and pull his tail, and it would hit him in the nuts. He said it was the worst thing ever. But also, my brother notwithstanding, professional mascots like the Gorilla in Phoenix and like Swoop for the Eagles and the Fanatic, these guys are fucking athletes.
Yeah, they're like
can beat the
acrobats,
shit out of you.
dancers and shit.
Yeah. They can absolutely beat the shit out of you.
I think Jason has it. Does he? I'll talk for why he has it, but I was used to. They used to pay me to go to Times Square and talk to the. Let's watch it first, and then I'll finish.
What is Gilbert Arenas' "make it, take it" idea?
Well, anyway, I would go to Times Square and have to go ask for a picture with the characters that are not supposed to be there and like take their heads off and scare people. And then if they would ask for money, they'd get arrested. That was my job.
Yeah? Yeah, they can't. We have this?
So
let's take a look at this. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
hey, you're an ass.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, can't do that.
Also, it's like a pussy tackle, too.
Credit to what is the mascot? What does the little Rocky dinosaur do?
I have no idea. He was shaking his ass, though.
It wasn't as bad, but it was so blatant of like, hey, bet me I can't do this. And then
I'll give the Mets credit. The only mascot that I actually think is good is the Mets. The Mrs. One, I actually think it's. I think it's the only one.
When it jumped the shark.
The Fanatic exists.
Oh, the Fanatic's great. The Fanatic's. Okay. The Fanatic is definitely.
Can I ask why?
Like some of them, I'm like baseball doesn't because the Yankees never had one, so I don't know.
Can I ask whose mascot was that chicken? Is that the San Diego
chicken?
Okay, why don't they? Where is that? Why did that just get canceled?
Oh, I didn't know it got canceled.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen the San Diego chicken?
Not. When was the last time you were in San Diego?
10 years. You haven't seen it? Hasn't made any kind of clips. Then it's a shitty mascot because we haven't seen one picture, one tweet, one blog in the last 10 years about the San Diego chicken. I don't think they're still using the San Diego chicken. I know they have the Padre out there, the father.
It's a good point. That's a very good point.
You remember videos as a kid, like on Saturday mornings, I'm doing highlight shows. Do you remember the other lady, the kisser? The lady who would run kiss people?
She was awesome.
I don't
Just
know.
go out and pucker up like the first baseman in every city.
Can you pull that? You pull that up?
It was like a Dolly Parton lookalike.
It's like a rabbit hole Friday.
Kiss?
Oh yeah, she was stacked. As a little kid, I remember that. I think it was the first time I remember noticing. Like,
what team was it?
It was just a woman. No, she just went everywhere.
Yeah,
and
she would run on the field and just kiss the ball players.
Google kisser sports, kisser woman sports. Like I don't know. We're going down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's something we haven't thought about in at least 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. But let's do picks now while they pull that up because then we'll see where the fuck this rabbit hole goes. What do you got, Marty?
I got the Diamondbacks, the Phillies -1.5, Yankees -1.5, and the Orioles. I'm also adding the Thunder.
What?
The camera just went to you, and you look miserable.
Oh no! Literally fucking like itching, bro. Like Jesus Christ.
Thunder at money line and Bulls money line.
I got the Guardians -152, and I'll take Oklahoma City's money line tonight. I think they're pesky. Get a win.
I need to look up this Gilbert Arena. I keep reading the Gilbert Arena.
Yeah. What's his make it take it rule?
I'm gonna look it up.
I didn't hear about that. But Jason, you have that video? Smitty, sorry. What do you got?
I got the Sabres and Blue Jackets over 7. Big Phillies day offensively. -1.5 over team total. Castellanos back in Cincinnati. Also, you look at the Phillies lines. Schwarber to hit a home run is like +170. It's so low.
Oh,
so,
really?
I mean, yeah, just the fact that like those totals are lower, I think they're just gonna they need to fucking explode and do something. And
Somebody
Perez
knows. Yeah, somebody knows
pitching
something.
in Houston under 4.5 Ks.
Wait, you can. It's kind of a good idea.
What's the idea?
It'll never happen, but the idea is that you make it. You take it like so. The better seed in the NBA playoffs starts at home, and you stay home until you lose.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
It's just if you lose game 1, game 2, you have to go play at the other teams. Like it's just if you win, you get to stay at home. I love that.
Well, that's my thing. They keep saying, how do you fix the regular season? I think make it 5 games in the first round, and all 5 games are at home.
That's what baseball is now, right?
In the first round for the 3 game, the wild card.
Yeah, which I like that.
Make all of them at home, because these teams, like, you would want to get the higher seed. You wouldn't position yourself, like you don't. I don't want to say the Warriors like tanked, but you don't think the Warriors were looking, being like, if we get the 6, we get the Kings, and they were okay with that?
Of course.
100%.
Look at the Lakers. If they beat the Clippers that night, they could have been playing. They would have probably been playing the Suns right now.
Yeah, they don't want that.
They're playing the Grizzlies. So
no chance, yeah.
And they don't play the Suns till the championship, the conference championship. So people definitely look at that shit.
I like that. I like that. Make it take it. That's fucking hysterical.
I do too.
Let's see where we're at with this rabbit hole. Yeah. So look, this is what she would do. Yeah, bombs.
She's not after Jose, is she? She's got to be looking for Cal.
What is happening? What? It's in
And
the middle
look,
of the
like,
game?
they eventually get her off, but man,
She's not.
that was Cal Ripken, by the way.
She's not a sanctioned mascot.
No,
No. Yo, she had like a 12 stadium
they
run.
take her off, but like, you imagine nowadays, and Cal Ripken's like, he knows he has to be in on it. I mean, that's
okay, but you see that nowadays. You still think they're lighting her up like they would for
I think they would.
Oh, they lay her out.
Are there any more though? There's got to be. I've seen like 1 million of those different videos.
They would lay her
That's
out.
something like when people say like, how has the world changed? Safety and shit, like something like that. Like like letting the fans come on the field. How many times have you seen people storm the field? Like all that shit is just.
And now you just got Ebo all distraught because Cal Ripken's wife probably saw that, and that's what the Kevin Costner situation happened.
If you want to talk about weird mascot things, do you know the mascot Clemmer used to work with? The world famous monkey boy?
Yes,
I do.
Yeah, I've heard about
Have
it.
you seen the video of him getting trucked?
No. Play that.
Yeah, hang on.
Clemmer had to be the world famous monkey boy.
That's the worst mascot I've ever seen.
Of all time. What even is he doing?
Man, I missed those snap off pants.
Me too. Pulling that shit off like that? Yep. You're gonna clap at anyone if you do that. Like, why is the tail so long?
Oh, it's another appendage, buddy.
Oh.
Oh.
No, that's not okay.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's not okay. Monkey's pissed. There's nothing getting him, getting
Can I get away?
embarrassed.
Oh, man.
That's depressing.
I got one for you guys. The time I truck sticked Corey Rutledge at a Fortnite event, jousting on balance beams. Jason, if you look that up, I think it was tweeted under "fuck that llama," and gave poor Corey a concussion.
I mean, you also laid out Frank.
Yeah, didn't you bury Frank? That's an all-time clip.
Yeah, Frank. Oh, and the Wings mascot, that bastard, the Philadelphia Wings at the Lax tournament. Me and Jordy did a halftime show and just completely laid out the Wings mascot. It was good times. Good times.
Smitty's got some
After I start saying you don't fuck with mascots, I have like
You've
3
beaten
recorded
up them all.
videos where I'm right down on them.
Yeah, Smitty's got some under the radar clips in terms of
Whoops.
In terms of his tenure for sure.
What are you gonna do?
Jason's
right.
pulling that up. Anything else to round out the show?
It's a Friday show, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna pull up. I was with the monkeys. I was gonna pull up Phoenix's dunks. I mean, that motherfucker could dunk. The gorilla.
It's an athlete.
Yeah, he could dunk.
The office today is there's no joke. I think there's 5 people in here, and one of those is Big Cat's kid. Like there's nobody here. The energy's low. It's also 80 degrees out.
Try to get some winners. I also kind of like if you had added, I like Sanga's strikeouts tonight with the Mets. It was not posted. Actually, you know what? I'll pull it up now. It wasn't posted early this morning, but we are going to Oakland. Let's see if he can go get some strikeouts.
So what happens if Oakland sweeps the Mets here?
I mean,
Just,
Frank,
hypothetically.
send Frank to Mexico for the week because the whole office is going to be impossible.
Mexico.
Wait, what?
How about Saul Goodman sending to Belize?
We should
Theoretically.
just give,
Over 5.5
Theoretically.
strikeouts, minus 152. Give me that. I'll take that. Sanga strikeouts for sure. Nobody has a play in the NBA tonight. What do you like in the NBA?
I took both money lines.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I have Oklahoma City as well. Smitty, you have no play in the NBA?
No, I'm just gonna watch and root for the Thunder. I'm also gonna, I guess, root for the Bulls.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all dead teams walking, so it's on. It's in the background. It's whatever. Tomorrow, Sixers are minus 8.5. That's a lot, but I think we'll be throwing out a nice little bet with Barstool Philly where you get Embiid like over 30 points and money line, and then hopefully get close to a pick 'em.
Yeah, tomorrow obviously too. Barstool.tv, FDPD hockey game. If you didn't watch Battle for the Badge, it's a really cool documentary. I've been able to go to the game 10 times. I got a lot of friends who play on the team, FD specifically. I know some guys on Cops as well, but
You going?
yeah, I'm going. We're working it. We have the Spittin' Chicklets guys there. Marshall will be on the call. Big Cat on the call. Like a lot of people in the company. It's basically like kind of how we did the Invitational and Rough and Rowdy. It's
Big
our
Cat's
kind
on
of
it?
spin. What?
Big Cat's on?
Yes, our spin on the game. It's going to be sold out. It's an electric environment. Like everybody's asking for tickets. Barstool didn't get any tickets. Tickets are super hard to come by. They get sold out from the get-go. UBS, is a big-time arena. People breaking chops in the fans. It's
So
a great environment. If you're going to check it out, Barstool.tv.
So the only experience I have watching this is through Rescue Me when they did it, and they just threw down. Is that how it really is in real life?
There's definitely,
Kind of, dude,
you can
it's-
see it in the documentary. Some guys that I know, some big dudes have mixed it up. Like
They get
fights
really
got
fucking
ugly.
pissed,
Yeah,
bro.
fights get ugly.
It's a
Fights in
real.
the stands get a little ugly.
It's a real route. Like my brother is a court officer, and he plays for the court officer hockey team, and it's still that's like the JV of it, I guess. But they get pissed, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things. It's their biggest game. It ends the season. This is the last
what's
one that they play
the-
all the time.
You know what's the worst thing? Like have you had people asking for tickets?
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, I know it sounds like I'm lying, but I really can't get you tickets. You're like, you're running the thing. I know. I can't do nothing for you.
Yeah, no, we just have the broadcast rights. And then next year I'm hearing some cool stuff on the 50th anniversary. The potential spots they're thinking about playing. But yeah, it's sold out from the get-go. Like, it's obviously emotional. Beforehand they'll like the different departments, and they'll do video montages and bring out families and stuff like that. But it's a lot of fun. The tailgate scene. I think hopefully the rain holds off. I think it's gonna be good. But Barstool.tv, it's listen, you got Biz and Whitney in between the boxes and the penalty box. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of fun with that. So make sure to check that out.
We have I don't know how long the yak is, but they were here from
5 hours.
6 to. They were here from like 6 to 1, but it's not gonna. It's probably gonna be like 2 or 3 hours actual. They probably cut a lot of it. But
I think it's a 5-hour edit.
No,
Jason put up a 5. That's crazy. So
there's no way if it's 5 hours.
Yeah, it's that's a must. Those things are must watch. So check that out. That's it. Friday show.
Everybody, thank Jason and Colin
Yes.
in the booth for stepping up today.
Also
We appreciate it. Give them a thumbs up on YouTube.
Let's hope some shit pops off over the weekend, so we're not talking college GMs as one of the 3 major headlines, which it was. We need some crazy shit to go down in sports, but we'll have the playoffs. Hockey starts up, so good Friday show. Pick Central. Get some winners.
Rangers, Devils.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yep.
Sick. Yaks up next.